Good evening, dear traders. This is Alice Lind. I welcome you to our today's webinar. And from the start, I would like to ask you to put pluses if you can hear me well. Okay, we've got several pluses. Let's wait for a bit more. Okay, so I wanted to start today with this picture that offered us investing.com ahead of Donald Trump's speech. They are showing us that he is leading bulls to the highs, incredible highs. And it's based on the fact that Dow Jones index today grew really dramatically. You can see this on this chart. So the previous time we spoke about trading using trend lines. Yeah, and I would like to revise the information on that. If you remember, we spoke about trend lines, how to build them, how to use them, and how to trade on them. And let's switch to our most common currency pair, Euro USD. That's for our chart. It means that each candle on the chart, on our chart, shows us changes in price for 4 hours. So today we can judge that Euro had grew, but we will switch to the shorter term. Let's switch to 15 minutes time frame. So here right now we see the chart that shows without any indicators. Because it's hard to tell what to do in this situation, in this case, without any indicators. So we will add the linear regression. The previous time I showed you how to draw them yourself, but it's easier to use the ready-made indicator that will help us to analyze the market. Will show us what to do in the next step. So as far as we see, the trend is going up. Today's day was positive for Euro. Let's switch to 1 hour chart. So you see that it has broken through the upper line of the trend. And it also can tell us that that's pretty good situation to enter the trade on Euro. So let's switch to 15 minutes again. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna trade on our currency pairs, on our stocks, using the linear regression indicator and using the trend line at the general. So right now we see that Euro is on its highs. So this is pretty good situation to open the trade. I will add one more indicator. I prefer to open the trades that are combined. When I see the combined data from one indicator, from the second indicator, and so on, because we're here to make money and we need to be confident in what we are doing. So right now on the 15 minutes time frame, we see that Euro is growing. These charts, the stochastic RCI, shows us that the prices are on its highs. So there is potential falling. Right now we're gonna open one trade on Euro USD, 15 minutes. Right now we have 6:34, so 15 minutes mean that the second trade, this trade gonna expire at 6:50. Let's check one more time. And go ahead. Hold on. Let's try to log in, log out. There is high volatility on the market. Hold on. When it's loading, we can switch to a bit longer time frames to prove the data that we have. Really high volatility, that's amazing situation. Okay, so at the previous time when I traded with you, you had seen this trade that was already opened. It's gonna expire in 8 days. So sometimes I trade on the long terms. Basically, I prefer to trade intraday. So we're gonna open the trade on Euro USD, 15 minutes expiry time, and it's opened. Out of money right now. And besides, we're gonna switch to another assets to see what we can do as well. Remember that here we have came here to make money, right? So the basic what we need to do is to search for the suitable situation to open the trade. When the situation is suitable, you should open. So on British pound, you can also see that there is pretty good opportunity to open the 15 minutes trade, the trade for 15 minutes for high. And we open the second trade in order to see what we have on a bit longer time frames. Well, the situation is also suitable to open the trade for 30 minutes as well. Switch to GBP USD. It's moving in the trend, so it hadn't reflected from the upper line or lower line, so the situation is not that suitable. Here on the USD Canadian dollar, the trend is going down if to judge on the short time frames. Okay, also pretty interesting situation. Let's switch to the longer time frames. You remember that I spoke of how to use the linear regression trend line, how to use the trend lines. We are waiting for the prices to reach the upper line, and we are waiting for them to reflect from them. If they have reached, let's say here, the upper line, we are not opening the trade straight away. We are waiting for the trend to change the direction, for the prices to change the direction, and on this candle, or even on this candle, that's good situation to open the trade, to enter the trade, and to make money. Let's switch to see what we have here. Okay, it's pretty good for now. Ahead of Trump's speech, the market is not certain. Okay, so we have on USD GPY also the pretty good situation. You see that the prices had broken through the lower line of our trend, and they started to go up. It proved also by the results that we see here on this indicator. Here I have opened the economic calendar. On investing.com, you can also use the economic calendar that we have on our website. It's up to you which to use. So everything is pretty good for now. Let's open the second trade on USD GPY. Basically, the trade that's gonna be opened on USD GPY, it's almost the same as on the British pound. So we play on high here. So against a Japanese yen. So basically, that's like the application of the previous trade. Okay, let's open. You can scroll here to search for the asset that you are looking for, or you can also need to confirm everything. Okay. You can also use the magnifier tool here and switch between the assets that you are interested easily. So let's say if you search for the currency, you search it in this group, stocks are also here. Today I traded on DAX. I have it here. Let's see what DAX shows us. Well, not much to do. I like stocks because mostly if there aren't any events on the market, they are moving smoothly without high jumps, without like something unpredictable. Here we see this gap was caused because the market on American stock market was opened, and this gap was caused by that. So we see that Apple trend is pretty positive for it. So it can also tell you to open a pretty successful long-term trade, because you see the prices are growing and growing, and everything seems positive for Apple. Here on DAX the situation is not that clear, so we will omit the trading. What do we see on Barclays? Also, if you see the price for Barclays stock had reflected from the upper line, here we see the pin bar figure, and the situation is also good to open the long-term trade for Barclays. I'm not sure if we are in trading hours, but let's try. I prefer to trade on the European stocks in the morning. Mostly I do that. I trade in the morning time. Yes, we see that the market is closed on Barclays. Okay. So we will be able to open the trade tomorrow in the morning when the market will be closed. So right now these trades, they are out of money, but we know what to do. USD CHF. Also you see that the American dollar was falling today against the most currencies ahead of Donald Trump speech. That's pretty interesting. If to see the shorter time frames, we also see that it has pretty good potential for going up. So let's go back to the currency pairs that we are trading right now. USD GPY and British Pound GPY. So the trend has turned back. Let's wait to see how our trade gonna expire. The system was using linear regression. It works pretty good on as long time frames as short. Personally, I prefer to trade longer time frames. As you see here, I have the line of support resistance, and recently the prices were moving like in the corridor, reflecting from the upper line and reflecting from the lower line. The trend is also in the corridor if to judge on 1 hour time frame. Let's see the global picture. So recently, as you see, everything was moving in this corridor. Okay, let's switch to our 5-minute time frame. The next candle appears and it's going down. So today we also have had the line of the series of important events. As I told you before, I'm going to come back to the importance of economical news in trading a bit later, maybe the next time or after that. But you need, even if you trade based on the technical analysis, you need to pay attention to the situation on the market as the general. You need to pay attention to what's going on in the world, because it's when there were a PAC meeting and when they finally agreed to cut the limits of the oil output, it influenced the price for oil, and the technical indicators couldn't predict that. So let's see it's a 5 minutes time frame. So for those one who prefer short-term trading, it can be also interesting. When our trades are still open, let's switch off the linear regression trend and recall how to draw it yourself. Usually it's made using 2 or 3 points on the chart. Let's see here, that will be the trend line that shows us that the British pound right now is going down on 1 minute time frame. You can also put the second one here. When the time frame is changed, the situation can be opposite. So you also need to, if you are trading on the trend, you need also to pay attention to that, if the global trend is going up or down. Let's switch to the time frame that we are interested at linear regression. So we have 1 minute left till our trade expire, a bit more than 1 minute. And right now what we need to do is to make another analysis of the chart of the indicators that we have in order to understand, shall we open the second trade in order to close it successfully. And the second one that we have opened. Well, for me, the situation is pretty suitable, so most traders have their own style of how to open the second trade, what amount. I mean, the first trade should be opened for a certain amount, and if it expires out of money and you are sure that your analysis, your prediction was correct, so you need to cover what you're losing on the first trade and to make profit. So in this case, some traders they are doubling the amount that they have invested. Personally, I prefer to use the coefficient 2.5 in order to, in the end, to gain profit. So right now it will be 4. So as we see, the first one expired in the money, the second out of money. So I need to cover the second one and to open the second trade. That's what I'm planning to do right now. The previous trade that we opened, The first one expired in the money, so here we have gold. Euro to British pound. As you see, the market prices has broken through the upper line of our trend line, and right now I wouldn't open the trade. I would wait till the second candle appeared with showing us that the trend has changed. The prices are going the opposite direction. We have 8 minutes left till the end of this candle, till this candle will be closed, so we can see what will happen next. Here on Euro USD also, well, basically the situation is pretty good to open the second trade. Also on Euro USD. So on 15 minutes time frame. So this one here is like a really thin line between the price of our when the trade was opened and the current price. So we need to wait to see the further development of the situation. My plan for trading is to end the day in the profit, and for me, some traders, they when they come to the market, they hope to reach the success rate of 80% of positive trades, 85, 90. Of course, that's pretty good, but sometimes if you are using the system and the strategy of your behaving correctly, you can make profit even if 30% of your trade expires in the money. In the end, making profit. So when you are finishing the day better than you started it, it means that you are trading good and you are making money, which is our purpose here. British pound seems to continue to go down, which is not that good for us. So this trade gonna expire soon as well, in 1 minute, and we can open the chart in order to see what shall we do right now. I would like to ask you if you have some questions to me concerning the trading, concerning the situation, what to do. Please feel free to write them and I will answer. So this trade is at the money for the current moment, and this one out of money, but the situation is good for us, so we shall wait and see what will happen in 50 seconds, because you see that the price is seemingly going up. You can also use this approach to trading for much longer time frames. Let's say let's switch to 4-hour time frame. The situation is much brighter here. You see the general trend, like we can see that in this case it's going down. Let's switch to 1 day. 1 day shows us that American dollar, the global prices for American dollar going up. We see here that each candle shows us the changes in price for 1 day. What about British pound? Well, of course, as I said many times, in order to trade here, we need to wait for the suitable situation to open the trade. Let's see, out of money. Okay. It was USD GPY, 1 day time frame, but we need 15 minutes. Okay, so let's open the second trade that will expire in 15 minutes as well, with the coefficient 2.5. Many traders they ask me about the trading on gold. That's really interesting asset. I like it as well as the Japanese yen, because that's like sanctuary for investors when they don't know what to do, when they don't know where to invest. They start to buy gold. They start to buy the Japanese yen, because these assets they they are growing when something going on in the world, when something is not clear, when it's seemingly not clear what to do next. I have opened a long-term trade on this asset. Like on 15 minutes time frame, we can see that while the trend is going up, on 4 hours as well up. So I believe I opened it. Let's see. Our platform allow you to see all the detail when the trade was opened, when it's gonna expire, the exact expiry prices. Then that's great. So I opened it on 10th of February. It means 6 days ago, and we can see too early. Okay. Somewhere here I have opened the trade. So you see that my trade was out of money for some time, but now when the prices for gold are growing, I am in the money. The price, the strike price, which was there, is like $13 lower than it's right now. But the gold is such asset that can change its price really dramatically within one single trading day. It's also influenced by a lot of factors, pretty interesting factors. We're gonna talk about it later when we're gonna come back to the influence of the economic news. So Donald Trump gonna speak at 9 p.m. if your time frame is GMT +2, so you can count what time when he gonna speak in your time. So what we can expect from that, we're gonna expect high volatility on the dollar, unclear situation on stock, and because if you read news, if you read information today, American stocks they opened in mixed position, and let's even see. I have here Apple stocks. So you see that in this situation, let's switch to shorter time frame. The market, that's for yesterday. So you see that this candle shows us the prices that were yesterday. This when the market was open today. So you see it started on high, started to fall, and right now the situation is not clear what to do if to judge on the short time frames. Okay, everything is good right now. Nikkei. This is Japanese index. And you also see these gaps, one difference between the time when the stock market was closed and when it was open. That's the common situation for indices, for stocks. Some people are making money on that. If you predict correctly the direction, general direction, and what's going on in the economy of the country and which indices you're trading, or you predict correctly the general situation, you can make money. Okay, what do we have here? The second trade that I have opened on Euro USD, well, right now it's out of money, though it was for a pretty long time in the money. We have 3 more minutes till the expiry time. We're gonna wait to see what will happen next. Those traders who are attending today's webinars, they have access to our signals. I advise you to use them, but to use them correctly, because they are just amazing. You can see there, if you switch to signals, you will see the statistics for the results of the recent signals that were on the platform. They appear here in the window. So for right now, we don't have any current signal. So about opening the trade with the coefficient, I advise you to have to remember or to have a note next to your working place where you have written down the amount of the second trade, the third trade, and so on. So in order for you to not to count, not to calculate what amount should be next, but to open it straight away, not to lose the good entrance time. Sometimes it really helps when you will trade for a while using this technique, so you will understand, you will remember that. But before you're just starting, it's good to have it somewhere near your working place, in order not to waste time calculating or something, especially if you prefer to trade on the short-term trades. When you're trading on the long-term, well, the situation usually changes dramatically on that. So I mean the difference between the time when you open the trade and when it's closed, it's pretty big. But when you are trading on the short terms, it's better to have this note next to you in order to know what to do the following, what amount to open next. It doesn't matter what account you have. I mean, whether you are starting from $5 investment or for $10 or $100 or $200 as me, you need to know the following step. If you're working with me or with one of my colleagues, ask for the advice what's better to open, what amount should be the next, and we will gladly help you with that. As I told you, I'm using the coefficient 2.5. So each case, when I open the trade, I know the next step, what it should be and how to open. Well, for a while, if you followed the trade, we have closed several of them already closed, and in certain seconds we will close 2 more. Well, the reason why I don't that much like to trade on the short term frames is that the price of when you open the trade and when you close the trade is almost it moves in the corridor, so it's hard to, sometimes it's only 1 pip difference. I prefer to trade when you exactly know that the direction that you have chosen was correct. In this case, your prediction is working. So what we see here, that the prices for British pound still going down, and we need to open the third trade. for 15 minutes. Let's do it. Some time ago, when we spoke about the general mistakes of most traders, of those who start, of those who has some experience in this industry, I mentioned the trading system, trading approach, and when you don't have it, or when you're not following it, it can bring to really sad results. Because if you have the system that works, that shows good results, you need to follow it. You need to follow and to understand what you're doing every single step. To be calm-minded, to trade with a cold heart, cold mind, not to be in the place where nothing interrupts you. Okay. The same situation on USD GPY. It was growing for a while, and right now it changed the direction. The difference is like for not that much, like 3 pips, nothing. Let's switch to see what we have in general. You see here is pretty good figure. This is pretty good situation on this chart. This figure tells us that the prices were really volatile, and this candle showed us that the trade should be opened for growing. 30 minutes, 15 minutes. What do we have here? Oh yeah. So probably we will open the second trade for the bigger, for the same expiry time, for the same direction. So this one gonna expire at 10 past 7. So the next one should expire at 25 minutes. The same amount. So you see that first is 200, second 500, third 1250. Okay, let's wait till the trade gonna be closed. Ahead of Trump's speech, and the market is really interesting. Okay, so that's time to open the next trade with the expiry time 25 minutes. Okay, let's go. Let's before when we wait, let's switch to another assets, and let's switch to longer time frames to see maybe we can open the trade for several hours. So euro, British pound, as you see the price is on its highs. since 10th of February, and there can be really good turning back point here, but we need to wait for the next candle to see what will happen next, because the prices can keep on growing. Gold. Okay, so Euro USD, British pound. It's also, as I told you before, you can see here that the price for British pound has reached its support level, and it almost touched it, reflected from it, and well, now the situation is it's continued to move in the corridor. The price is pretty rare. They break through the line of resistance or the line of support. Usually they are testing. So right now there is not much point to open the trade, let's say for several hours for British pound, because of course they will stay for a while here, and afterwards they can go up or break through this line. But we need to wait for the further situation on the market. We need to wait and to see what will happen next in order to know what we shall do in this case. So on the 4 hours time frame, you also see that the situation is not clear. Here is also the same, not clear. Okay. What do we have here? So Euro Australian dollar. The prices were really volatile today. So you see this candle. It has really thin body. That shows us that there was a huge volatility on the market. Okay. Well, I believe tomorrow when the European stock market will be opened, I will start trading on Barclays because, well, I like this situation. It's like tell me open trade. But the price, there can be a gap in the price. So of course, for sure, I will analyze the situation one more time when the market will be opened. So let's see what we have on the chart, on the assets that we work right now. British pound to yen and USD to yen. So you see, after several candles, we have the good one that's in our direction. Here you see that the prices are here, they are like testing this level. And for us, that's good situation because we can close our trade in the money. So those traders who work with me constantly or who attend my webinars constantly know that this is one of my favorite assets that I trade with. I believe each trader has those one that he or she likes. And British pound to Japanese yen is one of those that I have on my favorites. You see the global changes in price, and I believe that you know what was that. The influence of the Brexit on the market when British pound fell really dramatically. That was like a shock for the traders, for those one who thought that Britain will never, British people will never go from the European Union. So 3 more minutes till this one trade gonna expire, and 8 more minutes till this one gonna expire. But everything looks good to me. So let's wait and see how everything gonna end. Those traders who are from such countries which have big difference with Europe, who trade mostly on New Zealand dollar, on Australian dollar, I believe they know that these currencies, they are influenced greatly by the oil, and when we see the prices for oil changes, we can also see the same, almost the same results on these currencies. So today we see that the price for Brent has changed, has fallen down from $56 to 55. Well, almost, as investing tells us, 42 cents the difference, which is pretty good. The best about the binary that I like it that you don't care much what is the change of price. When the trend tells you to trade, and if you caught the wave, if you can tell, so you are trading, keep opening one trade by another and making money on that. I remember, I believe at the end of previous year, I traded, hold on Barclays stocks when they were falling dramatically, and I opened one trade by another, and every trade expired in the money, and that was great. The same was when I traded on British pound to yen after Brexit, when the price was falling and it was so easy to make money on that, because when something going on, when something happens, when the prices are moving like one direction without any change, you can catch the wave and make money on that, which is the most important when it deals to trade. Some my traders telling me that they got interest. Okay, this one expired in the money. They got interest when their prediction is correct. They got more satisfaction, not from making money, but from trading as the general. I believe that this is combined. When your prediction is correct, you feel good. When you're making money on that, that's even better. So here you cannot say like without hesitation, I believe. So what we did, the first trade that we opened on, let's see the chart to this one. Yes. Okay, 15 minutes time frame. The first trade that we opened expired out of money. So we opened the second trade in order to cover the losses of the previous one. The second one expired also out of money. So we opened the third trade. And the third trade expired in the money, bringing us profit. So we also hope that the situation on the American dollar to Japanese yen will be the same. So let's switch to the chart to see what's going on here. This is pretty strong level. So let's switch to the shorter one. Well, you see that the last 15 minutes the price was growing, which is good. 30 minutes also, like the general. It means that our general analysis, it was correct, but the price when we opened the trade and when the trade was closed was not that different. So it expired out of money because of that. And here you see that right now the prices are growing pretty fast. So the difference between the price when you open the trade and the price when the trade gonna be closed is bigger, because on the previous charts we saw that this line, orange line in our case, it was like really thin. Here it's a bit shorter, it's a bit longer. So we have like 1 minute 40 seconds left till the expiry time. Last seconds, last minutes, they are always exciting. Let's watch what we have here. I believe we can open several more trades, a bit longer term. Euro USD 60. For 1 hour, 4 hours. Well, 4-hour chart is not so clear. So right now our last trade gonna expire. And I believe I'm gonna finish with that for today. So if you have some questions, please write right now them before I can see everything. So yes, it's closed. I have a question to show the results. I believe that's from those one who didn't trade with us. Okay. So you see here the 2 last trades which expired in the money. Hold on. So what we did today, we traded on against the Japanese yen. We traded on the British pound and American dollar. So let's see. This trade closed at the money. It means that the price, the strike price and the closed rate was the same. So these were the first trade that we opened today in the money. These trades on the group of trades which we opened on against the Japanese yen, they expired out of money. So we opened those two in order to make profit. So if you count, you will have the result that I have 4 profitable trades out of 10. But if you count the general results, you will see that at the end I finished with the profit, which is the most important for us. To finish the day with the profit, not to count what is your percentage of success, but to count how much dollars you made today. Okay, so I believe I'm gonna thank for your attention, and I'm gonna say goodbye for you till the next time. Bye.